Ever pondered about the peculiarities that transpire when two inseparable comrades find themselves in a dispute over something rather distasteful? Buckle up for a riveting tale of deceit, rage, and, well, regurgitation. Allow us to present our protagonists. Stu Marsher, the notorious school jester armed with a lethal sense of humour and an equally fiery temper, and Billy Loomis, the brooding maverick with a heart that's not quite gold. But let's overlook that for now. On a run-of-the-mill day in the heart of October, Stu and Billy were relishing their traditional rendezvous. Stu, ever the playful trickster, had the sparkle of mischief in his eyes. Suddenly, Billy's patience snapped. His voice, usually calm and soothing, took on a sharp, piercing quality as he bellowed, "Cook the damn beef stew already, damn! What is taking you so long?" A wave of anxiety washed over Stu, his cheeks flushing a deep red. Billy's tone was harsh, but his eyes, still glinting subtly, held a trace of mirth. Abruptly, Billy bellowed, "I'm back, baby boy!" His voice echoed the triumph as he re-entered the room. "Stu, what are you scheming?" Billy inquired, his eyebrow arched post his melodramatic re-entry. Overwhelmed of nervousness, Stu vomited and stammered, "I'm a bit anxious, it's just that I like you so much." His was a blend of remorse and an odd variant of joy. Suddenly, Billy, with a feral glint in his eyes, yelled, "Come here, Stu, you've been naughty, now I must spank you." However, a little before Billy's theatrical comeback reprimand, he had asked, "Hey, Big Daddy, what's your go-to order from the Wendys menu?" Stu, without losing a beat, and before anxiety overpowered him, replied, "Double cheeseburger." Suddenly, Billy, with a bag in his hand, hurls it at Stu, exclaiming, "Order up!" Billy was oblivious to the fact that Stu's interpretation of adding some spice incorporated a sack of half-eaten fast food and a showy athletic swing. "Stu, is this—" Billy began, his eyes bulging as he deciphered the contents of the bag. "Indeed it is," Stu responded, guffawing uncontrollably. "And it's jam-packed with your favourite from Wendy's, Billy buddy." Stu had already prepared to launch Respond. The bag sailed through the air, a fast food missile aimed squarely at Billy. Billy's facial expression morphed from shock to sheer horror as he realised what was about to. But then, just as the bag was about to reach him, something surprising transpired. Billy roared, "Poopie Baggie from Wendys!" The bag soared over his head, narrowly missing him. Stu's laughter faded as he watched the bag zip past Billy. He hadn't anticipated his prank to backfire in such a way. As Billy's face turned a shade of red, he retaliated, "Stu, you imbecile!" Instead of storming off as one might expect, Billy shocked everyone by tossing a bowl of hot soup right in Stu's face. "I can't believe you tried to hurl Wendy's leftovers at me," he declared, while Stu could only stand there, dumbfounded, as soup dribbled down his face. Just then, Mr. Kreuger appeared. "Can I have your autograph, Mr. Kreuger?" a voice asked from the crowd, turning the strange situation even more surreal. All right, settle down," a stern voice boomed from the entrance of the cafeteria. All eyes turned towards the source of the voice. It was none other than Mr. Kreuger, the school principal and a local celebrity, who had just walked in. He was an imposing figure, known for his strict disciplinarian approach, but also admired for his past as a professional football player. His sudden appearance caused an immediate hush to fall over the cafeteria. Stu, still dripping with soup, and Billy, still seething, froze in their tracks. Even the bag of Wendy's leftovers seemed to pause in mid-air. The tension in the room was palpable. Mr. Kreuger surveyed the scene, his stern gaze finally resting on Billy and Stu. He opened his mouth to speak, and the entire cafeteria held its breath, waiting for the inevitable scolding. But then, something unexpected happened. Billy, starstruck, blurted out, "Can I have your autograph, Mr. Kreuger?" A collective gasp filled the room as all eyes turned to Billy. His request hung in the air, and for a moment everyone, including Mr. Kreuger, was too stunned to react. But then Mr. Kreuger chuckled, breaking the tension. "Well, that's a first," he said, reaching into his pocket for a pen. As he signed Billy's notebook, the cafeteria erupted into chatter once again, the failed prank forgotten in the excitement of Mr. Kreuger's unexpected arrival. The moral of the story? Well, it's simple. If you're going to throw hot soup at your best friend, make sure you have a better aim, or better yet, don't throw hot soup at all. It's generally not a good to maintain a friendship. Suddenly, Billy breaks in, yelling, "I'm going to McDonald's!" Now back to the tale, a saga of friendship, betrayal, and a desperately ill-starred bowl of soup. Here's your takeaway, folks. Pranks are all fun and games until someone gets hot soup thrown at them. Jot that down the next time you're scheming a hilarious prank. As the dust settles from the soup prank gone wrong, our story takes an unexpected turn. Suddenly, Billy breaks the silence, his voice resonating throughout the room. "You know what, Stu?" he declares, a note of amusement in his tone. "I love you, man." Silence then engulfs the room as everyone eagerly anticipates Stu's response. Billy, always the class clown, continues with his antics. A wide smile spread across his face. He invites, "Stu, come over here and give me a stew." Still recovering from the soup prank, is caught off guard. The camera skillfully captures his surprised and incredulous expression. Billy, on the other hand, is beaming from ear to ear, thoroughly relishing the shock value his unexpected proclamation has caused. As this scene draws to a close, we leave you with an image of Billy in a fit of laughter, and Stu frozen in place, his face the epitome of sheer disbelief. What a twist, folks! Don't change the channel to see how this saga unfolds. Just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, they do. After the last chuckle has died down, Stu's expression morphs into one of stone-cold seriousness. He marches over to Billy, his face a fiery mask of rage. "Billy, this isn't a joke!" Stu bellows, words echoing throughout the room. The camera zooms in to capture the exact moment Billy's amusement morphs into apprehension. Suddenly, in a bizarre twist, Stu grabs Billy by the collar and yanks him close. The gasps of astonishment are eclipsed by a collective gasp as Stu, in a peculiar display, whacks Billy where it hurts. The camera pans the room quickly to eternalize the stunned expressions of the bystanders, before returning its focus back to Billy and Stu. Their eyes are blown wide, they're a picture of utter astonishment. As the two men separate, a hush falls over the room. The camera zooms out to present Billy and Stu at the center stage, both taken aback and at a loss for words. And just like that, the strangeness dissipates. The camera lingers on their faces for a split second before fading to black, leaving the viewers with a tantalizing, "What's going to happen next?" You'll just have to keep watching to